And welcome to Expert Speak with I'm Michael DeLon, and I'm talking today with a new friend of mine, actually, Bill Cates. Bill, thanks for squeezing me in your schedule.
Michael, you bet. And just so they heard you right, not Bill Gates. Look, Bill Gates has a lot of money. He's on a mission to give away a lot of money. I'm on a mission to help you make a lot of money in spirit, service to your clients.
I love that. I love that, Bill. Appreciate that. So Bill is a referral coach. He's the author of multiple books. His most recent book is called Radical Relevance. It's right behind him. You can get it on Amazon, or hang on to the end of this. I've got another domain, another URL to send you to where you can get that and some other really cool things. But I want to talk today about this whole idea around referrals and relationship, and how do you build your business without spending more money on marketing. So that's what the whole topic is going to be about. So Bill, let's talk snapshot. Everybody, who are you? How'd you get doing this? Give me a snapshot.
We already know who I'm not. So yeah, well, gosh, where do I start? All right, so I was a rock and roll drummer for a number of years. Then I grew up and got into the business world. And I actually started and built two successful book publishing companies, which is you can appreciate in your world.
Absolutely.
And I sold those businesses. And, one business I sold for a fair amount of money, and it gave me the freedom to figure out what I wanted to do next. The other business I sold, I got out of my debt. So you guys that are listening to this, if someone says I sold my business, well, maybe they made a lot of money. Maybe they just got out from under the debt. And that I did both. Right. So I had a friend who said, Bill, you would be a great coach. Do you like to write? I go, yeah, I love to write. And so what happened is I got into this business of helping other businesses acquire more clients. It's all about how do we form better relationships? How do we leverage those relationships? How do we acquire just the right clients? I call them right fit clients in my latest book. So that is a condensed version to how I got here.
Well, that's great. And I love that phrase, right fit clients, because that's really important in everything I teach my clients. It is relationship. We've heard for years, you got to know, like, and trust somebody. I think the next step is you've got to believe that you're the right person for me.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
And there's a difference here between a referral and a relationship, and how you go about teaching and things. Talk to us about that. What is it that you teach people, and how do they go about building these relationships?
Yeah, I'll try to give it as quickly as we can. I'm going to give you three words. I'm going to give you engagement, I'm going to give you leverage, and connection. So our studies have shown that there's actually a low correlation between satisfied clients and giving referrals, making introductions. What we need is engaged clients. So what's an engaged client? Well, an engaged client is someone with whom you've made a value connection. They like the questions you ask. They like the things you teach. They like your responsive service. They like your staff, all of that value connection. And then you made a personal connection, and they appreciate that. And, people do business with people they like, whether things are equal or not. They do business with people they like. And so we got to become referable to engagement. And then once we do that, then we think leverage. How do we promote introductions? How do we ask for introductions without being aggressive, without feeling needy or cheesy or tacky? These are all the words I hear. Right? And there is a way to do that. There's a way to actually enhance the relationship. So we're leveraging, and then we're getting connected. And that's the difference between what's often called a referred lead, where call George, use my name. Right. Which doesn't really work very well anymore, because George doesn't pick up his phone, doesn't answer if he doesn't know who's calling, right? Doesn't recognize the number's not in his phone. So that doesn't work. So we got to get introduced. So connection, introduction, and that's where the relationship really comes in. And when we get introduced well, which I'll hit in a second, and we use the principles of engagement, then we create a continual flow of right fit clients. This is how we multiply our best clients. I know you say you like to use the word clone our best clients, right. Same idea. And and that's how our business grows exponentially. If we serve our clients well, we will get some referrals, some word of mouth, some introductions. It should happen. But if we're not proactive, then we're going to miss a ton of opportunities. So back to the relationship thing, it's you want to use the referral source. The person is making this introduction to the fullest value. And that is to create a good introduction, to learn about this person they're introducing you to. They can give you information that you wouldn't get from other sources. I call it warm research. And so that's the essence of my system, and that's the essence of how the relationship works all the way through.
Well, and I love a lot of what you said there. I hope people are listening, because you dropped a couple of what I call bombs there, which we need to unpack, right? One of the things I hear a lot of times, whether I'm talking with a financial advisor and attorney, it doesn't really matter what industry. They're like, Michael, I need more leads. Yes. And I'll have a conversation with them and say, okay, well, how many do you get? Well, I'm getting 20 a month from this, and I'm selling 3 of them. Great. What are you doing with the other 17? I need more leads, Michael. You talked about right there is multiplying your existing clients. If you do that, and you do that well, you're not spending more money on marketing, really. And the value of those referrals is exponential, because you're cloning your best clients.
Oh yeah, the benefits are multiple. And first of all, what does it cost for referral? Introduction, nothing. Maybe a little courage if you haven't asked them. Maybe a little thank you something. It's always nice to thank the referral source. But what does it cost the leads? Are leads getting cheaper? No. Are they getting better? No. And what happens with a lot of firms that I work with is whoever's doing the business development, their brain gets like wired to expect these leads that are coming. And even if they're not very good and they got to kiss a lot of frogs before a prince comes along, even if they get the frog on the phone in the first place, they're used to it. And they know that if they do a certain amount of this activity, it will produce a result. There is some level of predictability there. And it's a tough way to go. And if people come into businesses, I don't care whether it's a law practice, whether it's financial practice, every business I've worked with, the clients are, first of all, easier to bring in. They're going to say yes more quickly. Why? Because their friend said yes. They're going to follow your recommendations because their friend or colleague followed your recommendations. They're more profitable, generally speaking. They stay with you longer, generally speaking. And people who come into a business are 2.5 through a referral or introduction are 2.5 times more likely to give an introduction, right? Doesn't it make sense that they're going to be a little predisposed?
Totally.
All right. So financial advisors on this call and everybody else is savvy enough to know what compound interest is, right?
Right.
Compound interest is the miracle of investing properly. And when we put a little money in every month for, all of a sudden that's the miracle that takes over, right? Well, guess what? Bringing clients into your business through introductions is the compound interest of growing your business. If you think about it, because over time, you actually create a culture where everyone now has come to you through referrals. And attorneys listen to this, don't think you can't do this. I've got a firm, it's an estate planning firm in Kansas City that they're using our video training right now. They called just the other day because they wanted to add a couple people to it. And I overheard with my assistant, they said they're getting so many referrals and introductions, they don't know what to do with them. Yep. And I know that we're joking a little bit, but it can work, right? I don't care what kind of business. So yeah, there's a long answer to your short question.
Well, and that's great, because everybody you're working with, whether you're a financial advisor doing retirement planning or an estate planning attorney, they all know people who need the exact same service, and those friends don't know where to go. So they're going to go to Google or whatever. And it's the whole, you mentioned the pay-per-clicks and all the I call it that shiny object syndrome, right? I've got to run after the next new thing. When you build relationships with people, I'm not chasing a new relationship. I'm building new relationships, but I'm always keeping that relationship with that referral partner.
Yeah, right. Exactly. And so what happens is, all right, here's what we want to consider. How does a right fit client, how does an ideal client, how does a best fit client want to meet you? Well, you told me about the folks that are listening to this, and I can tell you, to a person, they want to meet you from a recommendation from someone else they already trust. Can other things produce results? Yes, they produce results by default. Schwab did a study, and the financial advisors listening will appreciate this. 84% of these clients met their financial advisor through a recommendation from someone else, a friend, a family member, another advisor like an attorney or an accountant. 16% through other methodologies. And so doesn't it make sense we should spend about 84% of our energy, time, resources the way people want to meet us? All right. So then the next thing to think about, and this is just marketing 101, is we always want to go to the warmest place first. We always want to go to where is it easiest, the path of least resistance, right? Whether, whatever the market you may go to, clients, always the warmest. And then you branch, and then you can get a little cooler and cooler from there, but you want to go where it's the easiest. And so it's the clients who love you. It's the clients who gave you unsolicited referrals. You start with those. You could bumble through this. They'll feel sorry for you and give you referrals. You can't hurt that relationship for sure.
Right.
In fact, if you do this right, you're not going to hurt any relationships. And there's this thing called consistency theory in psychology. And what happens is when your clients introduce you to others and those guys say, yeah, we're working with them now. Yeah, they're doing, everybody, it's like this club, right? Everyone starts to get to know each other a little bit, and because they're all working with you. And this is how you create a reputation for yourself.
That's right. Well, and one of the things I love about what you're doing, Bill, and if you go to referralcoach.com, and that's Bill's site, you've got Bill Cates, and then it's relationship marketing system. And you don't know me well enough yet, but I'm a big fan of systems, because you install a system and it works, right? You've built a system to be able to teach people how to do this, because I think one of the challenges with referrals is nobody teaches how to do it. And so what do I say? How do I ask? And so I just don't do it. I go get more leads, right? You've got a system built that you teach people, right?
Yeah. It's a system. It's a process. There's no question about it. And that's why a lot of people come to me is they go, Bill, we're sitting on a gold mine. We know there's a lot of opportunity there. We get some referrals. We don't get a lot. We need a process, right? We need a process that'll work. Can you do that? Yes, we can do that. And I occasionally have people that come to me and say, Bill, look, we want to get more referrals, more introductions, but I'm not going to ask for them. I go, all right, tell me more about that. Look, I'm not going to ask. I don't want to look like an overaggressive life insurance agent. I'm not going to ask, can you still help me? I go, yeah, I mean, it's a shame that we don't have that element. And what I know is that eventually they will warm up to it, because everything else I give them will do so well that eventually they'll start saying, maybe I could ask a few people here, right? So
right,
it's having a process, and then doing the process, and consistency is very important. And I know for a lot of people, this whole referral introduction thing is a step out of their comfort zone, because they don't want to look like an overaggressive life insurance agent. And I work with life insurance agents sometimes, and I tell them the old methodologies that polluted the waters for the rest of us, because we don't want to look like that.
That's right.
Is there another way to do it? Yeah, absolutely. There's another way. So yeah, referrals aren't icing on the cake. They aren't the little profit that comes along from doing a good job. They are the cake. They are how people want to meet you. And so it's about building a culture within your firm. And if you have multiple, rainmakers or biz development people in your firm, then it's a culture within their book of business. It really is so much that.
Yeah. And that's great. I was thinking when you were talking about the cake thing, that is so true. If you build 80% of your business on referrals, the whole Pareto principle, right? 80-20. John Maxwell one time wrote about that in a book. He's like, the 80-20 principle works really well if you spend 80% of your time on that 20% time. And I thought, well, that's brilliant. You're right.
Right.
Same thing here.
Yeah. I'm glad you like the cake analogy, because there's nothing like a good cake, is there?
That's right. German chocolate cake is awesome. But it's building that culture of referrals. And whether you're a one-man shop or have a conglomerate, it doesn't matter. It's the culture, it's the mindset that you said, when people want to meet, how do I want to meet somebody? I'm an introvert, Bill. I go to a party, man, I'm against the wall. But when I see somebody I know, or they say, hey, Michael, come over here, I'm in, right? And then I'm the life of the party.
Right. Understood.
Same thing with business. If after this call, if you said, Michael, man, I love this, I've got somebody I want to introduce you to, and here I'm going to make the email introduction, or I'm just going to make the call. I'm all in, dude. Right? It's so much easier to have that first conversation, and then I'm serving well. But I think what happens is that we think of the old school J. Douglas Edwards. I don't know if you know him, sales trainer.
Oh, I do.
His methodology of getting referrals was, I'm going to lock the door behind you and you can't get out until you give me 17 names of all your best friends. And so I don't want to do that. No, there has to be a better way.
Yeah, and there is, and that's the good news. And for the folks listening now, it's not 17, it's not quantity. I mean, quantity is always part of the equation, but it's quality. And what I mean by quality, it's first of all the right people, that you're being introduced to the right people, and that's about teaching your referral sources and making sure that they know who to send your way, et cetera, and then the right kind of connection to those people. That's where it often falls apart, Michael, is you have clients that are willing to do this, willing to make the connection, or other centers of influence, other trusted advisors, but you don't know how to make it happen, or they don't know how to make it happen. It kind of falls through the cracks. So I actually did a coaching call with a group earlier today where the whole focus of that particular call was the connection. How do we get an email handshake, or how do we get introduced in person, or how do we make that happen? And for me, we're not done until we get connected. We're not done until we get introduced, because the other methodologies just don't. It used to work. People used to answer the phone.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. I used to cold call people, and I used to cold call sales managers and company owners, and they'd answer their own phone.
That's right.
But not anymore.
Try that today. Yeah, I figured that's why God created voicemail. I don't want to answer my phone, right?
Yeah, I didn't even listen to my voicemail.
Yeah, exactly. But when you have a referral, you get right through. Right? It's like getting past that gatekeeper.
Pretty much, yeah. So that's the kind of the premise of one of the premises of my newest book, Radical Relevance, is right. So so the subtitle of the book is Sharpen Your Marketing Message, Cut Through the Noise, and Win More Ideal Clients. So how do we have a relevant message that will cut through the noise, that will get our foot in the door?
Yeah.
Well, the best way is an introduction from someone they know.
Yes.
Right. The shortest line, the fastest route to relevance with a stranger is an introduction from someone they know. And that's how my other books and that book fit together, because that's how we become more relevant. And our referral source is going to give us some information about that new prospect that we can use and massage and have a more relevant reason for reaching out and meeting with them, and everything gets easier from there. So you can't ask for a better start. Do they all work? No, of course not. But the better you get at creating a good connection, the more those introductions are going to turn into appointments and actual business.
Yeah, and that's great. And you mentioned earlier a couple of different types of what I would call referral. So some people think referrals as going after individual people. So if you're a financial planner, one referral is going after John and Mary Smith. Another referral or a center of influence is going after the estate planning attorney who works with 30 John and Mary Smiths. And you can do both, right? Because
every business, if you're a financial planner, financial advisor, your typical centers of influence are accountants and estate planning attorneys, but other attorneys as well. Because other attorneys like M&A attorneys and personal injury attorneys, there's money in motion, and that's good when there's money in motion, right? If you're an attorney, depending on the type of attorney, you're going to have other types of centers of influence as well. And so we all have those natural types of centers of influence. And the key, probably the most fundamental key to making those types of relationships work, is you have to be referable in their eyes.
Yes.
You see, your client is going to actually experience your value firsthand. These centers of influence may not, unless they become one of your clients,
right?
They may not experience your value firsthand. So it's in the telling, and it's in the explaining and the illustrating. And these are the relationships that usually take a little longer to nurture. You don't want to come on too strong. Look, you're enthusiastic about your work. You know that this person has clients who could probably benefit from what you do, but you got to build that trust first. And So you got to become referable, and then you got to talk about who do you serve the best, and how to recognize people who are good for each other. And then you got to get a good connection. And I found a lot of centers of influence, a lot of folks, again, just like clients, they have a willingness, but they don't know how to make a connection.
Right.
Attorneys are notorious for giving out 3 cards or 3 names because they don't want to endorse one, right? And
yeah,
that's cool. You do what you got to do. And the more you can have a conversation with this referral source, the more you can, maybe you're going to be the first one of the 3 at least, if not.
Yeah. Or in my world, you're going to be the one who has the book on the shelf, and they pull out your book and say, well, here are 2 cards. And oh, by the way, here's the book of Bill. He wrote the book on.
And that's it, man. I'm glad you told me and brought that up, because it really is a great tool. And a lot of the folks I coach, financial advisors, other types of professionals, have done the books. And I just, one guy I'm coaching right now, a guy named John Smallwood, keep it, right? Your wealth, keep it. He uses this as a referral tool. He gives it to his referral sources, gives it to his clients. Sometimes he pre-autographs some of them. But what he loves to do, and what you can do, is when you have a client that wants to introduce you by way of your book, you say, great, what's their name? Who should I make it out to? Tell me a little bit about them. You customize the introduction, the thing on it, the autograph, right? And man, it's valuable.
It is.
And I make the joke, right? So let me give you my joke. You guys can steal this, right?
Okay.
So when I autograph my books, for those of you doing the books with Michael, it's going to feel weird at first to autograph books. People are going to ask you to sign them, and I guarantee it's going to feel weird. First time it felt weird for me. Then you get used to it. Then you got to come up with, what am I going to say? What's my generic thing? And then what can I write? It's all that stuff. So with my radical relevance, I always say, wishing you radical success. But if I know something about them, then I'll, do a thing. So here's what I say. I say, Michael, I'm going to sign this for you. And it's going to, with my signature, the day I die, it's going to be worth twice as much. That's what you're paying for it.
That's right.
In this case, is nothing. So have some fun.
I love it. Have some fun.
Oh yeah. It's a great tool. Now, when you have referral sources giving out your book to people, whether they're just giving it out because they have a couple in stock, or they're asking you to mail, make sure that they're telling you who. If you're mailing it to them, then but you also want to get them to say, can I have John call you? I know John would love to talk with you. Don't worry, he's not pushy.
Right.
He'll ask you some great questions that'll get you thinking in ways you just haven't thought before. He's going to send the book to you. It's going to be autographed to you. Is it okay if he follows up? Well, yeah, okay, I guess so, right? So you want to teach your clients and your referral sources how to give out the book and how to create an actionable referral, right? Because it's giving your book out, it's like giving your business card out. Oh yeah, I gave a lot of your cards out the other day.
Yeah.
Well, the phone's not ringing.
That's right.
Right. So you got to teach people how to do that. Same thing with the book.
Totally. It's
one more. Can I give one more quick idea, Michael?
Sure. Absolutely.
I love this idea, and it's rare that I get to talk about this concept, because it's rare that I get to talk to a group of people who have actually done the book.
Okay.
So, and where was I going with this? Oh, so you have to understand that when your client gives a book to a friend, that friend may go, well, okay, looks nice. I'm going to read this. I don't know, right? Most people don't read books.
Yeah.
So what you want to do is you want to highlight. You want to dog ear a chapter, or you want to put a sticky note on it, and you say, look, George, Laura, if you read none of the book, read the foreword, or read the introduction, or read chapter 7. Or Bob told me this, chapter 8 is perfect for your situation. So you call out something and they go, okay, I don't have to read the whole book. I just have to read this. Okay, that's cool. And then you're going to get people to crack the book open.
That's right.
That's what you want.
Dude, that is gold. Okay. We could just excerpt that and put that everywhere. That is gold.
My work is done. All right.
That's right. We're done. Podcast over. No, that's brilliant, because it's more personal.
Mic drop.
Yes.
Sorry.
No, that's great.
I'm having fun, Michael. You're a fun guy. I'm having fun.
That's what it's all about. And the more fun we have, the more people relate to us. And, you know, you're starting your own podcast, and I want to talk about that just a tad so people can go there. But on your podcast, it needs to be fun, right? And I talked to a client today. They just started their second book with us. And I said, do you have a podcast? They're like, no, but we want to, but we don't know how. I said, I got you. That's part of our process now. Same thing with you with referrals. I'm sure if you ask me, hey, Michael, would you like more referrals? I'm going to say, well, yeah, but I don't really know how. I got you. So let's talk. You've got Radical Relevance. That's your book, but you've got a special website I found. Is it radicalrelevancebook.com? Is that the right domain?
Yes. Radicalrelevancebook.com. There's a cute, fun, short little video, which, you know, you'll enjoy. And then you can, from there, you can go to Amazon and get the book. It tells you a little bit about the book, or you can order from us an autographed copy.
Yeah.
Obviously I can't go to Amazon and autograph.
Right.
Once we house here, we can. So
yeah. And he might even dog ear it for you, maybe. But Radical Relevance, because you've got some bonus features in there for readers and things that I thought were really cool. But you also have this the relationship marketing system. You got a training program that people could go into. And I started snooping around because so many times, Bill, I do these things and somebody has a program.
That was you snooping around.
That was me. Yeah. I'm going to be, you know, marketed by you on Facebook now, I'm sure. But it was, the thing I loved about it is you know, value. How do you know value of something? I learned this years ago. You walk into a store and you see this coat and in your head, I'm like, man, that coat's going to be, you know, $600 or whatever. I take up the price tag, I flip it over. And when the price says $450 and I'm thinking $600, I go, oh, that's a good value. That happened to me, Bill, when I was on your site, because I was watching your videos. I was looking about you and I thought, okay, yeah, he's got a training program. Yeah, it's going to be $2,500 or something. And I went and I clicked on it. I think if I'm right, it was like $697. And I thought, immediately I thought, oh, that's a good value because of what I believe you're going to deliver in that program can radically enhance our business or any business because it's relationship based. And I just want to encourage people to go there to referralcoach.com and just poke around, but look into how could Bill help you grow your business without spending more money on marketing by building relationships with your ideal clients and referral. It's a no-brainer. That's what they need to be doing. So,
well, thank you. Can I hire you to be my spokesperson?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just, I love what you do because it's not a tactic. It's not a new Facebook thing. It's not the new social media platform that you have to be on or you go out of business. No, it's relationships. It's where we need to all shine. And you have figured out a system to make it just work.
Yeah, actually, I appreciate you saying that. It's not just a little tactic. It's actually, we designed it in a way to make sure, number one, it's all the truths or the overarching principles at hand here. Like one of the principles, for instance, is people like to protect their relationships. So when you're looking to get introduced, you have to do it in a way that allows them to protect their relationships. And when you know that principle, that will guide strategies and tactics. So we got the principles, we have a lot of good strategies, and then we get very tactical, I spoon feed you what to say if you're looking for the exact words, and you could tweak them for your personality, but it's principles, strategies, and tactics. And so, yeah, thank you for that. Nice.
Well, you're welcome. You've done a really good job setting this up. I wish we had more time to just really dive deep. But right now we're gonna have to wrap it up. So Radical Relevance is the book. You can get it on Amazon. You go to radicalrelevancebook.com. That's where I recommend you go and get that. And you can reach out and find more information about Bill at referralcoach.com. I'm gonna put all that in the show notes as well, so you can see it. But he also does speaking and all kinds of other things. So, I mean, he's this guy who has like multiple talents. So,
and I'm an old rock and roll drummer. So, you
can't go wrong there.
Can't go wrong there.
Yeah. So Bill, thanks. I mean, really, thank you for sharing some of your wisdom and stuff and helping us understand the value of building relationships and, using that to grow our business. And
thank you, Michael, for the work that you're doing, because what you're doing is you're helping your clients, the folks that are listening right now, bring their important value to other people, right? By you
Absolutely.
helping them, they're helping others. And it's the same way I see it.
Yeah.
So everyone benefits. So thanks.
They really do. You're welcome, buddy. Thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon.